Happy Monday, everybody. Coming at you live from Greenhouse Wellness, Dr. Leslie Apgar, and today we have a really special guest, Eryck Stamper, who is a retired Navy vet and who helped actually start Veterans Initiative 22, and we are just tickled. Obviously, we're celebrating Veterans Day today. We had a bang-up party yesterday celebrating our vets, and we were so thrilled to see so many of our vets come to our party yesterday. But to go ahead and reinforce that message, we invited Eryck today, and you're going to tell us all about yourself first, how you got to be here, and then a little bit about the initiative.
Sure. Well, thank you, Doctor, and thank you to everybody that's listening today. I want to say Greenhouse Wellness has been a pillar in the community for quite some time. I was here at the soft opening just about a year ago.
Way back when.
And wow, Maryland has come such a long way in what we've done. I think we've really transformed the landscape. We've taken on a lot, and I think we're doing a lot of benefits in reducing some crises I feel are critical here. More importantly, and near dear to my heart, our veterans, of course.
Yes.
Being a 23-year Navy veteran, I joke sometimes and say I got retarded instead of retired. And I do find what we do is find humor in a lot of what we've done and to serve our country. So that's one way I have to do it. And there's tears as well.
Yes, and we do appreciate your service. Let's go ahead and put that out there. We really do.
Well, I appreciate you guys continuing supporting the veterans. Early on, you took on the initiative when you heard about us when we started our own campaigning. I'd like, if you don't mind, talk a little bit about our initiative.
Please.
So at Veterans Initiative 22, in the military, we love acronyms. So on the drive up to DC to protest in front of the White House and in front of the Department of VA headquarters, talking about plants over pills, we were coming up with some ideas and what we needed to do. And I have to caveat by saying this is a collaborative effort. It's not just an army of one. This is a group of dedicated individuals who have campaigned. Not all of us are veterans. We got about 8 people right now, hardcore supporting the effort. So it's a group venture, and I appreciate everybody at every level. And I'll say we also are looking for volunteers that are dedicated for this fight, because this is a battlefield, and this is a battlefield for our freedom and rights to choose our own medicine. So Maryland has come a long way since, quite a few years since they've approved cannabis. So at 22, I say we care. We love acronyms: cannabis, advocacy, resources, and employment. I call that the entourage effect, if you would, of our veteran flavor here in Maryland. The government has spent a lot of money training us to do a lot of different things. We're doctors, we're lawyers, we're
bus drivers,
swabbers.
school,
I started
teachers,
at the bottom. As an E1, I was swabbing decks with a,
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, got to. So look at us now. So after 23 years, I realized there were some issues with me, both mentally and physically. And I learned a lot about advocacy from an organization called Maryland Normal, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. So right after I retired, I knew I had to find something. I was lost. I've lost family before to some previous addictions, and I've lost a lot. I'm recently divorced, and I'm trying to move forward in my life. So
good.
That's about what cannabis has allowed me to do, is live.
Mm-hmm. Live your best life, right, Eryck?
Sure.
So what does the 22 mean?
We got 22 estimated veterans committing suicide every day based on PTSD alone. Most of this is coming from fatigue from combat, scars from battle and war. A lot of it comes from what I call PTSD of life. I grew up in Baltimore City. I mean, I've seen people get shot, stabbed. So early on, it was the norm, but it's not the norm. It really shouldn't be the norm.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up in the military environment, I've done a lot, I've seen a lot, and taken in a lot, and it's taken its damage and toll.
Mm-hmm.
So cannabis has allowed me to prevent myself from, honestly, to commit suicide and even homicide. You might read something here coming up in a wonderful article about veterans. So current VA statistics, we're going to talk about different things. So 22, right now the VA statistics are showing 20 veterans committing suicide daily. And that's great that you hear it coming down from 22. Mm-hmm. We're trying to go to 0. I know it's a hard, achievable number. I don't think anybody could ever get down to zero. There are a lot of factors into play here, both physical and mental and external. So only 4 of those people that are committing suicide that are veterans are in the VA healthcare system mental health programs. That's very sad.
I know so many of the vets are lost to follow-up once they're discharged, and it's really hard to keep track.
What I've learned grown up in the military environment is black and white, and what I've gathered coming out of the military is a lot of gray out there.
It's called life.
It is. It's a different life, and it's hard for me to adjust, and I can imagine how hard it is for others who have gone through more horrific environments. I'm not a combat veteran, though I've seen my fair share of things that I'd rather not have seen, and done some things too. But so that's what we're talking about, is trying to reduce suicide with our veterans. Not only are we reducing suicide with cannabis, we're saving lives in other ways as well. We already know the statistics, and I won't have to go deep into it, about how cannabis is helping with all these medical conditions that we're having. Cancer, we can't say we've found a cure for anything in America because we're too smart for that, but we were talking about earlier, Doctor, Israeli research and other research around the world is phenomenal. So we need to start looking at that exterior research and now bring it back home to the States, and more importantly to our veterans here in Maryland, which is hard for me. This is a worldwide affair, it's not just Maryland, so it's hard to stay focused sometimes.
Right. So what other support are you giving the veterans besides advocating for cannabis?
We campaign on a few fronts. One, business and hiring practices for veterans and their family in the cannabis industry, the holistic and alternative healthcare environment. So we're advocating for employment opportunities that route. And the other side of the sword we yield is what I like to call the 22% incentive on our medicine. And everybody's doing a wonderful job with partnership and doing some levels with us, and like you guys here, it's amazing what you're doing, and I can't thank you guys enough for what you're doing for veterans in Maryland, and for everyone who's watching that. We're going to be continuing our mission. We're dedicated to the end. I've got a good group of individuals. Jose Marino, he's really active. He's stepping up to the plate hardcore. There's some other things that I'm trying to do in life. Some flowers, organic flowers.
Yeah,
earlier there was a tractor up there in a veterans program that it's a therapeutic program for mental health challenged people, and we've got a grant through the VA. So I'm pushing that, and at the end state here, Maryland Hemp Exchange should be coming to fruition soon. And in that, I want to put veterans to work.
Good.
So there's a lot of things going on, and it's all coming together, I believe.
Sounds like you're pretty busy.
Well, I sleep 2 to 3 hours a night, part of some of the problems that I suffer. But, I wanted to talk real quickly on a couple of critical things, if you will.
Absolutely.
We're talking about some of the partnerships. We have over 45 organizations, to include yourself, in our program. We've recently partnered with the U.S. Pain Foundation, and that's a very big win. They have a humongous cannabis and veteran program. Secondly, we'll use this word loosely. I say we've come to agreement in terms with the Veterans Administration, and oddly they were going to be here with us today to speak, because we're talking about building bridges at all angles, right? So we start at the bottom, and we also start at the top, and somewhere we're going to meet in the middle. So the Veterans Administration, Veterans Crisis and PTSD, Suicide Prevention Team are now happy and eager to come to all of our Maryland cannabis events and communicate.
That's great.
So that's, to me, I get chills every time I get a win. Like when I came here before and we started talking about our 22% and Veterans Initiative 22, I get a chill every time, because this is a battlefield, and these are wins. And when we're able to partner with the MMCC, by the way, we've partnered with them as well. We share and support their program, and they, we have agreements, and we will continue to fight this from an advocacy standpoint. We'll be in Annapolis soon. Okay, so we have our 501c3 status from the federal government now. We got that just last month through some really hard work, and it's good to be in this arena. It puts us in an opportunity to speak with all our veteran resources in Maryland. Jose's already started drafting letters to the VFW, the American Legion, and vets. DAV just came out with our support for cannabis research. We've got an army behind us.
I love it.
Inside and outside of the Veterans Administration. And I'll venture to say, you've probably seen some shares recently. Doctors at the VA now sending patients out into the economy to seek cannabis certifications. These are tremendous wins. And I tell you, I won't get it deep into politics, but we've had a change of transformation in leadership.
Yes, we have.
And I feel, depending on who will ultimately be the new DOJ, well on our way to complete federal deregulation. I stand behind the president when I voted for him when he talked about cannabis and he was going to legalize it. And by golly, I think we're really close to that.
I hope you're right.
We're a driving force, and we've linked and partnered with everyone and everybody. And it's important to know where we're at. There are a lot of groups fighting for some causes of cannabis here in Maryland, and you'll see us fighting those causes too.
Well, I'll tell you, Eryck, that at Greenhouse we have seen a tremendous response to our vets who have embraced cannabis. We've seen really a change in their personality, just an ease in the way they walk, they make better eye contact. That fight or flight response is just diminished, and it's been really breathtaking to watch it on a case-by-case basis right in front of our face. So we're just thrilled that this is now available in Maryland.
And I know your staff is well trained and versed in cannabis, and you know, it's not just about THC and CBD anymore. You know, we talk about aromatherapy and how that translates to terpene concentrations in our cannabis. So we are our own pharmacists. I think we all kind of say that. And with leadership and guidance from our pharmacists and our staff and our doctors, I think we'll start finding the right mix and putting us where we all need to be.
Well, we can't thank you enough for coming to share your message with us. I think it's such an important message, and we are so grateful to you and so thankful for you. Is there any other message that you wanted to give our listeners before we wrap things up?
I mean, I could talk all day long, but no, I think really the partnerships with the industry, there's an end state I think we all have in mind, and that's positive health on many levels: mental health, physical health, proper nutrition and diet. There's like kind of 5 stages that the VA talks about. And I think I was asked to talk a little bit about the VA. Please, veterans, reach out to the VA. They're there, they want to help. They've got people designed and trained to help us. It's a big organization. I don't have a lot of staff behind it, how many people they support, but our mental health plans at the VA are designed to protect us.
And Eryck, you said something earlier before we went live about how this time of year it's just so important because this is the time right before the holidays start, and we know that depression peaks in the winter and during the holidays. So you have an actual crisis hotline right here.
We sure do. It's a standard line. Anywhere we go, we usually wear the bracelets and wear our dog tags talking about the VA hotline. So Veterans Crisis Hotline, if you need any support, 1-800-273-8255 and press 1.
So again, that's 1-800-273-8255. Just press 1. That's a Veterans Crisis Line. Any time of the day or night, if you need them, they're here for you.
And you know, my phone is always available. I talk to veterans all the time, day and night. So my personal number is on my business card if you ever get a hold of it.
Well, great. Well, we just can't thank you enough for coming. We support everything you do, and always at Greenhouse, you're going to get a 22% for all you vets, a discount. So come on in, and we can't wait to see you. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.